is up, guys? I am super excited. We are about a month away from the greatest time of year, October. You know why I love October? Because the weather is like perfect. TV is like perfect. All the horror stuff, all the horror specials, all the Halloween specials. Boom, October, amazing. All the cheap candy, even though you really shouldn't eat too much candy. You can still get it for the low, and you can get a lot of it. Just all kinds of stuff, the costumes, just the whole atmosphere, and Halloween is kind of like the gateway to the holidays, because then you only have November and December, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Holy crap, it all starts with October. So I'm bringing this little video to you today with a hand-curated list of all the movies, events, hot takes, and hot picks for you to have a great October. Let's go ahead and kick it off with all of the crazy movies that are coming out this month. October really starts off with a bang. On October 6th on Shudder, you can check out VHS 94. Holy crap, I didn't even think they'd make another sequel to the VHS movies. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about the last one, VHS Viral, but I personally loved it just as much as I love the other ones. All the same people that have made the other ones are coming back to be involved. I saw a little preview for one of them, and they're in some kind of a crazy cave where they might be going after a cult or some kind of a monster or something. Looks freaking fantastic. I have no doubt that this is going to be just as good as the other ones. Shudder always comes through with the hot fire. October 6th, check that one out. Oh, then October 15th, we got a freaking big one. Maybe the hugest one of October. I'm talking about Halloween Kills. And that's going head to head with Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I don't know if you like the last Venom movie, but that I thought it was okay. And that's coming out, and on the same day as Halloween Kills. But let's talk about Halloween Kills. It's way more important. This is the middle part of a trilogy of like a reimagining of Halloween from the end of part 1 to now. Freaking crazy. This one's supposedly like the most brutal of all the Halloweens. I've heard a lot of crazy stuff about it. The last one was absolutely brutal, so I'm just wondering how they're gonna amp that stuff up. But, you know, it stars Jamie Lee Curtis. John Carpenter's doing the music again. There's a lot of love going into those movies, so definitely don't miss that one. It's coming out to theaters. Alright, October 20th on Netflix is a crazy little vampire movie I've been reading about called Night Teeth. About this chauffeur that ends up picking up these two ladies who end up being vampires and take him on some ridiculous excursions, let's say. I was wondering if any of like the horror movie channels, Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, any of that stuff was going to put out any original horror content, and I wasn't seeing very much, but then I came across this Night Teeth, read the synopsis, seen who's involved. It looks pretty freaking awesome. It's kind of late into the October season, so if you haven't been getting what you want from other sources and you just, you know, have Netflix and stuff like that, fear not, on the 20th they're going to give you Night Teeth, and you should probably check that one out, especially if you're into vampire flicks. And then just before Halloween, October 29th, you're getting a double dose of ridiculous horror when Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho comes out, and the Guillermo del Toro, David S. Goyer production of Antlers, which has been highly, highly anticipated for a very long time. That movie's been done since, I think, 2020. And just with all these stuff with the pandemic delays, I believe that they were part of the Fox deal when Fox got bought up by Disney. All those movies got caught up in the shuffle. But it's finally coming out. The story, I think about a Wendigo or something like that. But you should definitely watch the previews for that, Antlers. Last Night in Soho looks like some kind of crazy psychological thriller with people going back in time. There's like a time travel aspect to it. The trailer's really crazy. I seen some shadow people. Awesome horror coming to you at the end of October. But that pretty much does it for the movie tip. Both of those are coming to theaters, so you'll have to check them out there. But that's not all on the TV entertainment side. We got a couple of television show premieres that I'm super excited to talk about. Sci-Fi Channel is doing it huge this year when it comes to premieres for some television shows. October 12th is the premiere of the Chucky television show. Now, whoever thought that there would be a Chucky show, let alone it be on the Sci-Fi Channel? Now, it's being produced by all the people that have been involved with the original Child's Play franchises. It's even got Brad Dourif coming back as Chucky. You got Jennifer Tilly. I believe Brad Dourif's daughter is also going to be back in this, and she was in like Curse and, you know, the last couple of Chucky movies. But the story looks real crazy. There's a trailer out there you can watch. It looks like they're going back to the old school Chucky format, which I think they've needed to do for a very long time. Because at one time, Chucky was actually like pretty terrifying and a pretty brutal killer. They've kind of made him into a farce of what he was as these movies have gone on. Not that they've been bad, except for Seed. Screw that movie. But now we're getting this Chucky TV show, and Sci-Fi Channel isn't afraid to go crazy with the gore. They're gonna release the stuff on Blu-ray uncut with whatever they actually had to cut from the Sci-Fi Channel. But I'm super looking forward to this October 12th Sci-Fi Chucky. And just 3 days later, Sci-Fi Channel, October 15th, the Day of the Dead TV series based on the George Romero classic. Now, I am very, very skeptical about this. I always get a little touchy when it comes to people touching George's amazing universe. I think that Night, Dawn, Day are like masterpieces, and like there's nothing that you can really do that can compare to them. I don't care what you try to do or what you say. This TV series intrigues me because it's set in the universe of Day of the Dead. Hopefully they're gonna expand on what happened during that and what happens to some of the other survivors. I've seen stuff that the people from the original Day of the Dead are gonna make cameos in this, so it's actually gonna be like kind of quasi-canon. So fingers crossed that this is freaking amazing. Hopefully if this works well, it'll lead to some more Romero-esque universe type television. So definitely go check this out, at least the first episode, especially if you're looking for some kind of a new zombie train to hop on since The Walking Dead is ending. This might be your best and closest chance you're gonna get, so definitely check out that new Day of the Dead. Well, I think that pretty much covers it as far as visual entertainment. There are some amazing horror cons that are coming up here in October. Let's go ahead and get into some of those. So I was doing research on these conventions that are coming up, and the main thing that I found that I want to convey to you guys is that Kentucky is the horror hotspot. They have a couple of amazing conventions going on in October. Who would have thought? But definitely looking at you there, Kentucky. Maybe next year you'll see Jimmy P and Rada Peach. But let's go ahead. The first convention, Scarefest 13, which goes from October 22nd to the 24th in Lexington, Kentucky. This one's got some of the heavy hitters of horror. Bruce Campbell, Ted Raimi, Tony Todd, Kane Hodder, and Bill Moseley are all attending that you can go get meet and greets. There's crazy photo ops. They have a film festival. I think Linnea Quigley is gonna be there as well. They have Scream Queen Bowling, which I think would be freaking fantastic, where you get to bowl with all the Scream Queens from these various horrors. There's a day where you can go and throw axes with some of the killers, which I thought was crazy. Kane Hodder was definitely included on one of those axe throwing things. But what a pretty awesome looking festival down there. Lexington, Kentucky, or you're in that area, you're looking for a horror con, definitely check out Scarefest 13. Now at the beginning of the month, sorry I did this a little out of order, October 1st through the 3rd, in Louisville, Kentucky, is the Fright Night Film Fest. That is like a major film festival where they're taking people's independent films and stuff. I saw some other premieres for some low-budget horrors that have been getting some talk about on some of my YouTube sites, Horror Hound and Fangoria.com. That one has a lot of the people from like Rob Zombie's Halloween universe. Tyler Maine's gonna be there, Danielle Harris, Scout Taylor Compton, Zach Galligan's gonna be there from frickin' Gremlins, Waxwork. Have you ever seen those Waxwork movies? Definitely check out the first one. They have some crazy stuff going on. A lot of the cast from the Monster Squad is going to be there, so I think they're having like a Monster Squad panel. Also, what really brought my eye to this particular horror con is that they've got like the cast and crew from Terrifier and Terrifier 2, directors, actors, all that stuff. So they're definitely doing something with that, and I'm wondering if they're going to do a screening of Terrifier 2. If they do, and you're there, you let me know in the comments, because highly anticipated. It was supposed to be coming out this year. I don't think that it is, or if it is, it's coming late this year, but Oh, I'm so looking forward to Terrifier 2. So that's what's going on at that convention. If you go, I think you're gonna be very pleased that you go. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. Last and certainly not least, on the other side of the country, we got Spooky Empire coming from Orlando, Florida, that is also going on during the 22nd and the 24th of October. This is in Orlando, Florida, and has another amount of the huge hitters of horror. We got Robert Englund, Doug Bradley is there, Tom Savini, Lance Henriksen, holy crap, masters of horror. They will also be running a movie festival, and what's unique to their little convention is they have a tattoo festival and a bunch of tattoo artists that you could go to and get a tattoo, I guess, if you want to. But if you're in Orlando and you're looking for a horror convention or you're close to that area, definitely check out Spooky Empire. Alright, well, I think that covers the horror conventions that I think you should be checking out. Alright, this is my Fave 5 for 2021. This probably won't be the same next year nor any year, but this is the fire and the flavor that I'm feeling that I think you should be checking out for your ghostly month of October. These are in no particular order, so just get a pen and paper and get ready for this. Alright, number 1 is American Horror Story 1984. Holy shit, I was not ready for how freaking awesome that is. What a love letter to the 80s. Every episode I freaking loved. Had me on the edge of my seat. Even the episodes that people consider slow, I freaking loved. Like, non-stop. Love the character actors. The story is incredible. The music, magnifique. Like I said, I binge watched this and I just could not stop myself. It was so freaking good. It just hit me right here in my freaking feels. Whew, perfect for October, especially if you're like itching for a slasher movie and you think you've seen all the slashers, and it's freaking gory as shit. Like, I could not believe what they were getting away with on TV these days. American Horror Story has definitely been a mixed bag for me because I definitely didn't like the first season. I've never seen the second season. Coven, I thought was Freak Show, freaking awesome. That was the first season that I actually liked. I've watched Hotel, which was my favorite until 1984. I watched Cup. I watched Roanoke, which I thought was pretty good. I would love to have that one in my collection. And now I'm waiting to see on Double Feature. I'm going to let a few episodes come through. I have no desire really to watch the second season. It's called Asylum or something like that. I'm not really big into like that kind of stuff. I'm not big into like exorcism movies or that kind of stuff. But American Horror Story 1984 must be on your watching list if you haven't watched it and you need a good slasher. It's gonna do you good. Number 2 is a horror classic that I think you could watch every year and it fits in very appropriately, and I'm talking about Return of the Living Dead. Dan O'Bannon's freaking classic zombie tale of like anarchy and zombies in a like a very dark and dreary looking world. This is one of the most amazing examples of a zombie movie that has ever been made. The effects are crazy. Has some amazing actors in it with quotable lines that you'll be quoting long after you're done watching the movie. Amazing story. Linnea Quigley's in it. A really fun movie to watch with your friends. Like, it really has the party atmosphere going on to it. Like, it doesn't have any dull moments. If you're having a Halloween party and you need something to put on in the background, or you're hanging out with your friends and you need to watch some scary movies, Return of the Living Dead definitely needs to be on that list. Number 3 is for something if you're looking for something really scary. And I'm talking about the fear footage. Now, there are 3 fear footages. I'm only telling you about the first one. You can get these on Amazon, or like the fear footage has its own website where you can buy the Blu-rays for like 20 bucks a piece. Holy crap, is this a great like anthology / found footage horror in the vein of like VHS and stuff like that, with a much lower budget, but the atmosphere is very high with great scares, like great scares. Watched this with my kids last Thanksgiving. Scared the crap out of all of us. Has some good stuff. The story of a sheriff who finds this house that was burned down a long time ago. The house suddenly reappears, he goes inside, bad things start to happen. Intense, nail-biting, those are all great words to describe this. If you're looking for something with true scares, watch the fear footage. It's definitely going to get you there. Number 4 is for, you know, those looking for something a little more nasty, a little more ruthless. I'm talking about House of Wax. Not the old one, I'm talking about the 2006 one from Dark Castle. Now I know what some of you guys are thinking, well, wasn't Paris Hilton in that? Oh, it can't be that good. She freaking gets massacred. They even like tailored the like video propaganda and like the stuff, movie posters at the theaters with stuff like, do you want to see Paris Hilton die? Crazy stuff like that. But there is so much more to this movie than just the Paris Hilton whatever. The story of this is actually really, really good. Slasher movie extraordinaire with extremely brutal kills, a fascinating story, villains that you can just, ooh, they're so brutal. I really like the atmosphere, the special effects of this movie. It's perfect for the Halloween season, and this is a little more on the ruthless side, so if you're looking for something a little less brutal, I don't think House of Wax is where you should go, but for those true horror fans looking for something a little more brutal and something that you might not have watched in a while or something you might have passed over, don't pass over the new House of Wax. It is a really good slasher movie and needs to be on your Halloween list. Alright, last and not least, I wanted to highlight something that came out earlier this year that all my friends be talking about, and that's Psycho Goreman. What a ridiculous amalgam of like Sentai Japanese movies or Power Ranger type stuff, horror, comedy, and family-friendly affair. Holy crap, it just gives you all that in this amalgam of madness. I didn't know what to think about this movie because, you know, you see the previews and you see the prosthetics and literally this looks like this is like a kid's Power Ranger Saturday morning TV show. But let me tell you, it is not. It is so much more. It's lighthearted, brutal, funny, sad. It gives you all that. I'm really looking forward to actually watching Psycho Goreman with my kids. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but maybe that's coming up for Thanksgiving or something like that. Because that's a big time of the year when me and my kids be watching movies. You can get Psycho Goreman for pretty cheap anywhere and is perfect for family gatherings or just something that if you want to feel good but you want to watch something a little brutal, Psycho Goreman is definitely it. You will not be disappointed. So these are the 5 absolute essentials that I will not be missing and that I will be participating in this year. Number 1 is Halloween Kills. I will not miss that. I may see it multiple times depending on how brutal it is. I really loved the last one and I've been waiting 2 freaking years for this. Number 2, VHS 94. I really love the VHS series. Had no idea that they were even going to bring it back. I thought viral was the end. So super excited for that. I'm going to actually get Shudder for a month in October. Creepshow Season 3 comes out in September and I'll let that run through, so I'll probably sneak that in there sometime too for my month, but definitely getting it for VHS 94. Number 3, I've recently been fascinated with the works of John Carpenter and I've gotten some of his movies added to my collection, a couple that I haven't watched for a long time. I'm going to do like a double feature night and I'm going to watch Prince of Darkness and Vampires. I have a lot of fond memories of Vampires, so I went and saw that with my friends at the theater at least 6, 7 times. I am not kidding. Freaking love that movie. And it's a little bit on the lighter side, and you know, being with the Halloween theme, I want to watch something a little dark too, so I'm going to watch Prince of Darkness, which I know I like, but I really can't remember too much about it, so that's going to be neat. Maybe I'm going in with fresh eyes again. Number 4 is that Day of the Dead TV series from Sci-Fi Channel. I am not gonna miss that. Anything that has to do with Romero-esque stuff that I can get my hands on, I'm gonna keep my eye on and hopefully enjoy. I'm telling you, Sci-Fi Channel, do not fuck this up. End up in another shame video like that stupid Evidence movie I didn't like. And lastly, we're going on like the 40th anniversary of The Howling, I believe. And there's not too many really good werewolf movies, but The Howling is definitely high up there. Amazing special effects, really great actors, and Joe Dante is an amazing director. So I will be watching The Howling. If you're wondering some other werewolf movies that I think are good, I can really only think of Dog Soldiers, American Werewolf in London, and that's all I can think of. The Howling. And yeah, those are the 5 things that I will not miss for October 2021. Whoo-wee! Did you get all that? I hope so. I think that pretty much gets you covered to have an amazing October this year. I'm super excited. Now here's the important part. Let me know what you guys are doing for Halloween or October this year in the comments below. If there's something I missed or something that needs to be on my right or needs to be on my radar, put that below. Like, share, subscribe, give us the old LSS. We really like that stuff around here and it helps us grow. Have a safe and amazing October. I'd love to hear all about it. Until next time, I'm your boy Jimmy P.